Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and Ultraman Blazar made its premiere a few days ago as the newest season in the Ultraman franchise. It's been marketed as the beginning of a new era in the recent years, thanks to a lot of old ideas making a resurgence, technically making them new ones, I guess, in this modern day and age, and it made for a unique first dive into this world. Before I give all of my thoughts on the episode in this video, be sure to let me know your own thoughts on it down in the comment section, and keep in mind that if you haven't seen the episode yet, it is actually available here on YouTube for free with tons of subtitles in addition to English dubbed audio for the first time. So that'll be the first link in the description, and I definitely recommend you check it out if you don't want to get spoiled with this video. I think it should go without saying, if you've seen it, that my favorite part of the episode is how unique it was compared to the previous years of Ultraman premieres that I've seen. And the even cooler part is I can't really pin down a single part of the episode that made it unique and is the reason I enjoyed it. For starters, the episode felt really focused in a sense. Like, the entire thing is this single siege on a kaiju in a city, and it made the whole thing feel really grounded, not only in a literal sense because a lot of the cinematography is coming from the ground because it's human level characters, and I thought that was pretty cool, but it also just sucks you into this world and the human struggle because the episode practically takes place in real time. We are following this attack team's strategy and mission and etc. to take down the Sheldon Cooper. The monster's name is Bazinga or Bazanga, and I've been calling it Bazinga, and I have to sneak in my Big Bang Theory joke. They're somewhere in here, so I'm doing it right now. Another element of this is that it focuses entirely on our main character, Gento. Any other premiere, I feel like we would at least introduce some of the other side characters, but focus on our main character. But like, Gento's the only character that's really introduced that is going to be making a recurring appearance, with an exception I'll bring up later. Now, unfortunately, I don't think the episode really sold me on Gento as a character that much. He felt kind of generic in the episode. Like, he didn't really have any personality. I felt he was just kind of there and saying lines of dialogue, but I definitely don't hate him, and I am looking forward to seeing what he'll do going forward, because one of the things I was excited about with this season is the fact that our Ultraman was an attack team leader and our main character was an attack team leader, and I thought that opened some interesting venues for different storytelling possibilities, and this doesn't really showcase any of them, but it establishes that he's not just like a new attack team leader, he's been like a captain of anti-kaiju missions for a while. Also too, like, we know he has a wife and child, and they're just not mentioned in this episode at all. So not only am I hoping we get some of that soon, because I think that's an interesting dynamic for our main character, but I also think it's interesting that, again, they weren't mentioned in this episode because it's so focused. Now, again, this does make the episode feel a little bit empty sometimes because it is just the one main character that we focus on, and the others don't get any play, except for the one woman who shoots a bazooka, whose name I don't know, but I know she's a main character eventually. Even then, it just felt sorta out of place. Like, it was just a weird scene they put in there to be like, hey, we got at least one of the main characters in this part at some point. Those other like members on the attack team are like kind of fun the way they interact with Gento, but it's just weird knowing like probably never gonna see them again. So maybe if like the other attack team members could have been part of the squad, or at least like one or two of them, and then we kind of build this camaraderie before next episode. It's like, hey, these are actually main characters too. It feels like this episode is split in two halves. Like, the first half is just like humans attacking the kaiju, and the second half is, hey, here's Ultraman Blazar. So, of course, in the second half, the action was amazing. Not to say the first half action wasn't amazing, actually, but obviously I'm here for the second half action with the big rubber man. I love the way Blazar's arrival is shot, where, like, the glow piece is, like, hidden behind the building, and we kind of pan over to the side until you see it. I do have a nitpick, though, with the action. I wish the rod thing was used for more than just a finisher. Like, that would have been a really cool weapon to use. At least, like, get a couple hits on the kaiju and then throw it at him. But I guess, like, on another weird note with that, it is kind of weird that he doesn't have a beam finisher. And I get that it's them trying to make a new era, new beginning and stuff, and it's like, one of the things is we got rid of the classic finisher, but I don't know, it's like, I wouldn't have minded that. You can make a new beginning and at least let him do the classic thing, but it's whatever. I guess while I'm going on little side tangents, I should probably talk about the design really quickly, and it's that it is cool. I like the red and blue lines throughout the body, and he's asymmetrical as hell, which is pretty badass. And I mentioned the glowing piece on his face, and I think that's like a scar apparently, but whatever, it looks pretty awesome. My favorite part of the fight scene though is like the whole unnatural vibe it has. First of all, the music they've chosen for Blazar is really awesome, like the weird synth and like alien horns. It gives an unnatural vibe, which is, you know, what they were going for. But then a big thing is that they got rid of the green screen room trope, which I never had a problem with. I actually thought it was an interesting way to show us the actor doing actor things, but we still get the tokusatsu suit doing tokusatsu suit things. But what it really worked at doing is adding to the immersion of the entire scene and the idea of Gento turning into the big alien, because usually we can't understand like the Ultramen when they're big like this, and the fact that now we no longer have the protagonist to say things that we can't understand, it's just like we're watching this big alien. And even then, he's not like a normal Ultraman, because the way he talks is... giving Blazar such a unique style of grunt, or not even a grunt, just a growl that he uses to scream and communicate at the monster while Gento disappears, gives Blazar so much personality, even though, again, he doesn't talk. And then the whole time we also get like that little tidbit from the dude on the ground that I don't think we're ever going to see again, where he says Blazar was like a rumor among the astronauts, which I think kind of adds to the otherworldliness of the scene, because it's like, wow, this is like an urban legend come to life. But it also makes me wonder what Blazar's deal is. Like, if he's been flying around space for a while, what happened to cause him to become nothing but a toy that appears to Gento? Given Gento's reaction in the episode itself, I think this was the first time Blazar's appeared to him, so I'd like to know more about this predicament that has happened. Like, how did Blazar go from space to brace, I guess? And this is more prevalent at the end, where like after Blazar leaves, it just smash cuts to Gento waking up and thinking like it was a dream for a moment, which is a like little interesting twist. Instead of having him like aware he turned into Blazar, it's almost like this unnatural thing he can't control that just happens whenever the time comes. And then from there, the episode just ends. It just begins and ends with the single night of fighting a kaiju, and really put you in the shoes of like these normal people fighting this kaiju. You kind of get how this world operates already, and I think it sets the tone for the whole season. I love how simple the episode was. It feels really indicative of how Subaraya and the Ultraman team are trying to do something unique with Blazar. Like, we live in an era where each season of Kamen Rider and Ultraman start out with multiple heroes and multiple forms, but this year there's just one Blazar with one Blazar form, almost like a Showa season. I love seeing all the different forms and toys that Modern Toku tries to sell each year, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty interested in seeing the writing of the modern era applied to the older conventions. Once again, let me know what you thought of the premiere, and if you're excited for the rest of Blazar, check out my Patreon if you're interested in exclusive perks like your name on the screen right now, and early video access for only $2. Or just hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time.